had a chance. Good morning. It is October 5th. We are now in October. We missed last week. Sorry about it. Got a little busy. The hurricane decided to mess up all of our schedules at the same time. So here we are. Thoughts and prayers go out to people affected by all that, especially up there in northern parts of Tennessee where Chuba is at. Not currently, but is up there. But we're here. We did say we're going to count the picks from last week, but we didn't make a graphic, nor did we ever post it. So we're still undecided. We might, but it's already a week ago, and we got a little lazy. Okay, so
depends how much Hunter's picks are affected.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
If Hunter had a bad week, the picks are not getting counted.
Not true. But James was supposed to be here. Don't know where he's at. I think he might still be asleep. I think he had a homecoming dance last night, so it's excused. Also, it's a bit of an early morning for your boy, so no contacts today, so you can't see my eyes at all. There's a reason. So there you go. Flat Sports Podcast. Check out the new episode, by the way. Check it out. Please. Clips will be posted soon. All right. Let's jump into the schedule.
Brother just threw an ad in there.
Yep, I'll throw an ad in. Hey, I'm throwing in there. No odds this week either. Wow, okay. None.
Yeah.
There weren't any odds on this game?
Nope, I couldn't find anything. Nope. And I couldn't find any notes, so I accidentally left Grayson McCall on here. So that's nice.
We're locked in.
There's nothing in this game.
All right. Here's our FCS game of the week. Russ, you get to go first.
I don't know anything about North Dakota, so I'm going to go with North Dakota State. They seem to be one of the best two FCS teams every year, and I haven't seen anything to suggest that will change, so I'll go with North Dakota State.
Yeah, I was going to say North Dakota State's year in and year out one of the best FCS schools, and I think Kim Miller is a dog, so I'm going to go North Dakota State.
Same as me. North Dakota State. Navy, Air Force, Navy 5-0 on the year. The guest we were supposed to have today is planning to he's got family in the Air Force. He was not able to make it. It's actually two guests, so we'll see him next week, hopefully, or further weeks. Who knows? But Jess.
I'm going to go with Navy here. They love running the ball. Air Force does too. They run it 77% of the time. But I think they're starting running backs out. When I looked, they're the leading running back, Cade Harris. He had 25 less carries. So either he's more efficient or the other guy is injured. So I'll go with Navy. They're 5-0. They're double. They're a 2-possession favorite. So I'll go with Navy.
I think Navy's going to win, and I also want to see a ranked Army-Navy matchup. That would be absolutely sweet. I just think that Navy's offense is, for what it's worth, they're pretty good this year, and I don't think Air Force has the defensive line to stop them.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Navy here. I feel like that Navy-Army matchup is going to could have playoff implications, which would be huge. So that'd be pretty cool. I do like Navy in this game a lot more than I like Air Force. Air Force running the ball a lot more, and I feel like Navy's defense is pretty good for, people don't give the military schools a lot of credit. They're really cool, okay? So, Navy. I think James is going to join us here soon, so we might have to go back and get his picks for the first two. But, good morning. We are live, by the way, so. Good morning, James.
Good morning.
How was the dance? We'll do it. We'll hit an interview halfway through.
really hope this is only getting my waist up. God, it's only waist up. Let's go.
Might get clipped. Oh, there he is. Good morning.
Buddy had a good night.
Do we want to go back? First two picks, we'll let you make your picks.
Yeah.
Here you go.
North Dakota State, they're a dog, 4 straight wins, and they had Carson Wentz. He did suck though, so did that number 2 overall pick that went to the Niners and is at the Cowboys. But they can develop well, and they have a cooler mascot. And they kept it close against Colorado. That was tough. Navy's quarterback could have gone to Bama. Spread speaks for itself, and Air Force sucks. I know a kid there, and y'all know a kid there, so self-explanatory. Navy's quarterback is also threatening to leave, transfer out, similar to what Skeens did if they don't let him go to the NFL. So that's definitely a storyline to watch. But yeah, with a spread like that and an elite quarterback, give me Navy.
All right, and now we're back. We got SMU Louisville. Could be an interesting matchup. SMU picked up a big win last week versus Florida State. Louisville, ACC favorites could be possibly if Clemson, messes up. But James.
No, someone else. I'm pulling up stats real quick.
All right, Giros, you're gonna go first now.
Yeah, it's SMU's first year in the Big 12, I believe. They've shown that they're a quality team and that they will. It is ACC. Okay. I knew it was one too. They have shown they are a quality team, but I do think that this is their first big test. Louisville has shown that they are a very good team. With the schedule they have, they could easily make a playoff run. And because of that in the home field, I'll go with Louisville.
Dude.
SMU just absolutely embarrassed Florida State. I think they have a pretty good offense. However, I think Louisville is a very good football team. So I'm going to pick Louisville. All right, Hunter, go ahead.
Yep, James, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, all of y'all are picking Louisville. Y'all are playing the enemy, and my enemy is my friend since Kentucky hates them. SMU has better colors. They dominated Florida State at home last week. Obviously they're young. I'll pick them this time, and they probably won't win. That's fine. But give them a couple of years. Their boosters are elite. They're all these rich, oil tycoons. I mean, they're raising probably going to be close to $1 billion when it's all said and done. They're going to buy the greatest team known to man, better than the A&M team from a couple of years ago. Think A&M boosters, just make them richer, and then also the students do a ton of cocaine there. So just imagine that, and that's SMU.
Yeah, I've never seen that on Spot Sports. He's not making a pick for now. He's making a pick for 3 years from now.
This is a futures pick.
He's building a dynasty here with SMU.
This is the futures pick.
All right.
Actually, scratch that. They've played 2 quarterbacks. Give me Louisville. They're not consistent quarterback play. Give me Louisville.
I love this guy.
Scratch that.
All right. I'm going to go Louisville as well. The Big D is not going to be able to fly very well in Louisville. So they're from Dallas, okay?
Never heard Dallas referred to as the Big D. I appreciate it.
You ever heard the song "Going to the Big D" and don't mean Dallas?
Nope.
Oh my gosh!
I've never
going to the Big D and I don't mean Dallas.
Don't mean Dallas, yeah.
Where are they going then?
I don't know. Someplace with the Big D.
Next game.
Yeah, let's go to the next game really quick. Alabama, Vandy. Vandy wants Bama. I think of the famous clip of the dude from Vanderbilt a couple years ago.
You know what kind of ball we play.
Oh, it's Detroit. Thanks, Bryce Davis. I saw that. Juris, you can go first.
I'll go with Bama here. I don't think there needs to be much said. Vanderbilt has shown that they can contend with teams this year, but Alabama's Alabama, and Vanderbilt's still not great. So I'll go with Alabama.
Yeah, I think Bama's the front runner for the national championship right now. I think Vandy's decent. I think Diego Pavia, he's all right. He's good enough to win. He's good enough to win a few games, but he is not up to the standard that it takes to beat Bama.
Yeah, a couple things. We spelled his name wrong on the thingamabogger, so not great. Bama looked dominant last week. Sure, they kind of let up at the end. I'm sure Saban had something to say about that because even at halftime, he just looked like Saban, not happy whatsoever. But since we're doing straight picks, I don't know how I pick against Bama when they're favored by 22.5 points. That's 3 touchdowns and a field goal, I think. Is that math right? Yeah. I mean, how do I not pick Bama? Obviously, this will be more fun than previous years. Vanderbilt is at least trying to contend. Maybe they make a bowl game this year. That would be kind of fun seeing Vandy in like the Pop Tart Bowl. Like imagine Diego Pavia and like the big Pop Tart, and then he just gets cooked and they're all eating him. Like that would be pretty fun. Not gonna lie, he's looked great. Doesn't really have a lot of throwing power, but he looks like he can control games, which is nice. But I mean, how do you pick against one of the Heisman, leaders in Milrow? Plus, they have that kid that's younger than me at wide receiver. He's just a dog, and he pulled his own card in Ultimate Team on NCAA like yesterday. So that was pretty cool to see. So yeah, give me the Tide.
I think Vanderbilt is like powdered milk. You know, you add water to them, or you add a little flavor, you add a little spice to them, and they look just like milk, which is every other team. But then you actually taste Vandy, it tastes like absolute crap. I think Vandy's a bunch of frauds, in reality. But I'm going to go with Bama here. I think you got to roll with the Tide. Honestly, Milroe is going to probably win the Heisman if he keeps it up. We'll see what happens when he comes to Knoxville. But there you go, Bama. Roll Tide, roll.
I don't know. That was the weirdest analogy I've ever heard.
Well,
Powdered milk.
Powdered
Yeah,
milk
you never heard
with
of powdered
spice.
milk?
With spice? No.
Well, like when you add water, it looks just like every other. You know, when you add something to it. I don't know.
Like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, kind of. But
That's a
way
way
around.
better analogy.
But it's a sheep in wolf's clothing.
Yep.
Yes. No. Wait.
Yes.
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 UCLA versus Penn State. This game is the 12 o'clock game. Big noon kickoff. Jeez Louise. I don't know why it is. UCLA getting up early to play this game. Russ?
I'm gonna go with Penn State. Not much to be said here. UCLA is not very good. Ethan Garbers is okay, but overall, Drew Lar has shown that he is better and that better than what people thought he'd be. And because of that, I'll go with Penn State. They're a huge favorite. So,
Yeah, I mean, this game's going to be pretty ugly. At Penn State, Drew Aller's good. He's been pretty good this year so far. I think the UCLA defense is just absolutely abysmal. And so I'm going to go Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, once again, huge spread, but low key, kind of an interesting game. College Game Day chose this one. Don't really know why. I don't feel like this is the game of the week, but oh no, I'm thinking of Cal. They picked Cal this week. That's on me. Yeah, UCLA big win at Auburn this year. I mean, obviously going into Jordan Hare, one of the toughest places to play in, not only just in the SEC but in the nation. Is this game at Penn State?
yes.
Big noon kickoff at Penn State. I feel like they definitely kind of lean in on their night games. We saw that last year when Michigan came into town. Granted, Michigan was the best team in the country last year, but it was a noon game. They had next to no home field advantage. I know it was a whiteout. Plus, Drew Allar has shown he can be a competent enough quarterback. An 8-1 touchdown interception ratio compared to that other dude, Ethan Garbers. That just sounds like garbage to me. 3 to 6, he needs to be benched. I don't know why he hasn't already. And then 12th in pass percentage. Yeah, no, but when your pass percentage is high, but you're throwing interceptions left and right, nobody cares. Score a couple touchdowns, and then we can start talking. Give me the nitty lines.
What is 8-8 yards? 88
It's
yards?
supposed to be 8. It's supposed to be 808. The dash is beside the 0.
808s and heartbreaks. I'm going to go Penn State here as well. UCLA, they've played tough. They played LSU pretty tough. I think that UCLA is a much better team than a lot of people give them credit for. I think that this spread is a lot higher than what it should be. I also don't think that Penn State's as good as people say they are. But Penn State, Happy Valley. Birds are chirping this morning. Jeez Louise. Sounds nice. UCF versus Florida at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in the Swamp. Could be Billy Napier's last game if he loses this. I'm sure we'll talk about that. But just
I'm gonna go with Florida. I think that I think the team realizes this could be it, and they'll want to. I feel like this is their last ditch effort. I could see them. I just don't think UCF. I think they're overrated. We saw what Colorado did to them last week. KJ Jefferson, I think he was overrated in the SEC. Everybody thinks he's great now. RJ Harvey is their best player, obviously, but I do think Florida's talent outshines a few teams this year, even though the coaching is bad. So I will go with Florida.
I really want to pick UCF just because of how badly they got embarrassed in Colorado by Hunter's favorite team. This is tough. Just because of SEC bias, I'm gonna go Florida. Like Grant said, they are a top team in the country as far as talent goes, just because of who they are, and so I think the talent at Florida will overcome UCF and KJ Jefferson.
I mean, UCF is a glorified Walmart SEC team with Gus Malzahn at quarterback or not at quarterback, at coach, and KJ Jefferson at quarterback. I have RJ Harvey on my ultimate team. He's all right. I'm not going to lie. Like, he gets the job done for me. Second in rushes, yeah, KJ Jefferson is a big dude. If he can run it down your throat, you're probably screwed. And from what I've heard is that the Florida boosters have already garnered enough money, and what's his name is pretty much out the door, the minute the season ends. So I don't think we really have to worry about that. He's not really fighting for his job anymore. He's fighting for his pride at this point. And that 11th in completion percentage stat is a load of BS. They stat padded against Mississippi State. That's a complete lie. They stat padded, picking on, an underprivileged team. That's terrible of them. At least Texas let us play competitive. Yeah, so Florida, y'all suck. And I think y'all are the ones that hurt Blake Shapen. So y'all really suck. For that reason, for y'all screwing with my dogs, give me UCF.
I'm going to pick Florida just because Florida comes to Neyland next week, and I hope I get to see Sunbelt Billy coach one more time and then get fired on his way back home from Knoxville. Yes, James?
I just want to say one last thing. No fans are showing up in the Swamp. The Swamp will be dry today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Can't wait to see Twitter absolutely flame the Gators. I do think that they will win. It will be a close game. I think this game could be really good, or it could be a blowout for either side. Who knows? It's kind of one of those. It's a Vegas game. You go in, you don't know what you're going to gamble on, but there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Miami versus Cal. Cal's Twitter is quite the experience. If you've ever been on Cal Twitter, it is. I think it was the convicts versus the critical race theory is what the Cal people were calling this game. So, Juras.
This is just a weird game. I mean, ACC, they're two different they're on different coasts. I still can't get my mind wrapped around that. I do think Cam Ward, though, I mean, he's on the Heisman watch list. I think he's top 3 probably quarterback in college football this year. They had a scare last week, and I think that woke up Miami. So I will go with Miami. I think they will. I think they'll destroy Cal, honestly, because they got woke up. So I'll go with Miami.
Yeah, look down there in the other notes section. Ninth in opponent completion percentage. That's just not a good sign for your secondary when you're playing a top 5 quarterback. That's gonna lead to some trouble. I do think Cal is a pretty decent football team. I don't think they're that bad, but I don't think their defense is good enough to stop Cam Ward and stop a rushing attack too. So I'm gonna go Miami.
Aiden, that means that against Cal, quarterbacks are thrown only 52%.
That's a very good thing.
Oh, I'm stupid. I misread that.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Take back what I just said. I can't read. Miami still wins.
James.
Oh yeah. So yeah, definitely interesting that these like Cal students are leaning in on like the fact that they're woke and all this stuff. Like that's fun. Like they're making it fun. I mess with that. Thank you for aliving the game, I guess. Like that's cool. They got college game day there. You know the like 20 Cal Berkeley students that care about football are gonna show up. Yeah, but I mean, Cam Ward, obviously the secondary is going to be pretty tough for him. I mean, looking at the stat that we just talked about, but he also has that rushing game that he can lean on, including himself. He's a fairly mobile quarterback. I think something interesting to point out is last year, Cam Ward and Wazoo went into Cal and lost 42-39. Now, I don't know who looks like. Yeah, no, they had the same quarterback too. So it looks like this Cal quarterback can hang if it goes to a shootout. But remember, that's Wazoo. They're kind of not, the cream of the crop, whereas Miami definitely has a lot more NIL and a lot better recruiting than Wazoo. Still love what Mike Leach did for that program. Rest easy. But I think Cal has the chance to cover, but I don't see how Miami drops this game.
I am going to go Miami. I think this game will be a lot closer than what people give it credit for. It's a night game. And they also have this kid named Jaden Ott, who's really good for Cal. I think he's their running back. Dude's really good player. Really like his game. But I am going to go Miami just because you have Cam Ward, and I think he's going to be able to make a lot of plays today. So I'm going to go Miami. Michigan versus Washington, national championship rematch. Both teams kind of on different spectrums, really, when you look at it. Michigan can't throw a football, though, so I don't know what's going on there. G-Russ.
These two teams want to play very different ways. Washington wants to throw the football more. They have Will Rogers, who was raised in like an air raid style. And then Michigan just wants to, pound the rock, hard-nosed football, play good defense. I was going to pick Michigan, so I looked at stats. I didn't realize Will Rogers was being this efficient. And because of the home field advantage, and I don't think that Alex Orji can hang if it's a high-scoring game, so I'll go with Washington.
Yeah. I'm honestly 50-50 on this game. I don't think Michigan is a bad football team by any means. I think their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games, and it's a new time for Michigan football. They're not throwing the ball. I mean, they really didn't with J.J. McCarthy either, but now
he has the ability to throw, though.
Yeah. Now they just absolutely cannot throw the football. I really don't know. I think I'm going to go with the home field advantage of Washington. Will Rogers has looked pretty solid, so I'm going to give the edge to Washington.
Yeah, I got to watch Will Rogers for 4 years or 2020, 21, 22, 23, 4 years at Mississippi State. And my cousin got to watch him when he was in high school. And in the words of my cousin, Will is a wuss and he can't run the ball. That's why he's always running out of bounds, not getting that extra yard or sliding when he has an extra 5 yards to get, even if he takes a soft hit. I don't think he's seen a cornerback like Will Johnson yet this season. He's the number 1 quarterback in the draft. And they have Mason Graham, who is going to put pressure on Will. Will is going to get flustered. He's going to make mistakes. I don't care how his stats look. They struggled against Wazoo. They don't have half the defense that Michigan has. I'm glad that we realized that Donovan Edwards is a better RB1 than RB2. God bless. They're going to pound it down Washington State. I honestly don't know how their defense is, quite frankly. But Orgy is a tight end merchant. I'm happy to say that because they have Colston Loveland, who proved to be vital in last year's national championship run. He's a big guy, but it's the Midwest. They have a bunch of big white guys who can play tight end in line. They're going to dominate the trenches today. Orgy's probably going to rush for 100-plus yards. He's probably going to be putting Ash and Genty stats on the ground. And then he's probably only going to throw the ball 3 times, and all 3 of them are going to go to the tight end. Michigan is going to, probably run the clock, and Kale Mullins is RB1 now. He's a dog. He had a great game last week. Will Rogers will get flustered. He will make mistakes, and that's going to be the reason that Washington loses to Michigan at home. Down go the Huskies.
I'm changing my pick to Michigan.
Bang.
I was leaning Michigan, but
All right.
pick Washington.
Washington is one of the toughest places to play in the country. I will admit.
Crazy. That's crazy.
It is one of the toughest.
It's underrated. It's not top.
It's underrated.
Like,
it's not even top 10.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like.
I would say it's top 10, but I'm saying it's a tough place to play. You're not gonna. It's like Wisconsin.
Yeah, Bama showed that.
Yeah, great place to play, Wisconsin.
Well, Wisconsin is still playing Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback, so I'm gonna go with the Big Blue. I like Michigan more as a team. I'm going to be honest. I think that Washington will make it competitive. I just think that Michigan's just going to run it and run and run and run and run and run. Maybe throw a slant and then run. I do think that if Michigan wants to do more this year, they are going to have to figure out how to throw the ball, because you can't be really one-dimensional in college football much anymore. I mean, it's worked so far for them. Honestly, it has worked. Michigan football. They're playing Michigan football, and it's worked so far. But until you get a team that stops the rush against them, it's going to be tough, like Texas did. So, go Big Blue.
I just want to note something to Hunter's point that Washington's one of the top places to play. They're not even top 20. They're not in the top 25 for Stadium Pulse in college football. They're not in the top 25 hardest stadium.
That doesn't even matter.
Yes, it does.
Means something.
It means a lot.
Go to the next game. Auburn, Georgia. Auburn played their first 5 home games this year and won, I think, 2 of them. Right? They're 2 and
Yes.
3? Yep.
That's
So you go 2 and 3 at home, and then you get Georgia on the road. Georgia lost last week. Dress.
This is the first time Georgia's coming off a SEC regular season loss since 2020, I think, 4 years, almost 4 years, which is insane. A lot of people are saying this Georgia team could unravel. I don't see that at all. Kirby, I mean, if anything, I think Georgia will beat them by 2 more touchdowns than they would have if they would have beat Bama. I think that Kirby Smart is still one of the best coaches, and I think Georgia could easily hang 40 on Auburn. Their turnovers, they have the most in college football. They have quarterback problems. Whatever the amount of snaps Hugh Freeze says he's away from winning a game, it will be way up after this game, so I'll go Georgia.
You say 40, I say 65. I think this is going to be a brutal game for Auburn. Coming off a loss, Georgia is fired up, and I think that they just take all their anger out on the Auburn defense and Auburn secondary. Carson Beck's going to have a great game, as much as I just don't like him. He's going to have a great game, and I think Georgia wins by no less than 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, this Auburn team is overrated per usual. Auburn normally is pretty high up just because they're a name brand. And I don't blame, the polls for putting them up. But it was very impressive to see how Georgia responded last week. I mean, they were down 28-0 in the second quarter and then 37 at half. And it was kind of a, how are you going to respond moment? Are you going to sit there and die and let Bama just kill you? Or are you going to at least try and make it competitive? I think scoring 3 straight touchdowns in the fourth showed what this Georgia team is made of. This is the best scenario for them if they were going to lose the Bama game. They have Auburn, they have Mississippi State. They should easily win both of those games if they're the number 1 team in the country. Because Auburn and Mississippi State suck. Honestly, I was kind of hoping that Mississippi State would play Auburn this year just so that we could screw over Hugh Freeze and John Cohen. I don't like either of them. We didn't get lucky. We were stuck playing Texas. We're stuck playing Georgia. That's fine. We're going to make the most of it. Georgia is going to easily cover that spread. I think Vegas is being nice to Auburn just because of Georgia's loss last week. But Georgia gets 2 glorified bye weeks, and Carson Beck will stat pad.
Yep, Georgia. Auburn can't figure out their quarterback situation, and you also lose to an Oklahoma team last week that you should have beat, honestly. Oklahoma's first 5 wide receivers all out due to the Tennessee effect. Listen, if you're Auburn and you lose that game to Oklahoma to a freshman quarterback in Jordan-Hare Stadium without their top 5 wide receivers and their running back out, I'm pretty sure too, their top running back, how you lose that game honestly blows my mind. Just goes to show how good that Oklahoma defense was or is. I mean, Auburn's got to figure it out, though. I feel like if Hugh Freeze wants to be the head coach there anymore. So he's recruiting well. They're still recruiting phenomenally well. I think they're number 3 in the nation in recruiting class right now. But you got to put some stuff on the field there, too. So go Bulldogs. Tennessee, Arkansas. Giros.
I look at this game a lot like the Kentucky game a couple years ago. It's seen as a trap game. I believe that year they played Georgia the next week. A lot of Tennessee fans are looking, maybe even a couple of players. I don't think they are, but they are looking ahead to the Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. I do think, though, similar to that game, I think this will still be a blowout. I think that Heupel has this team locked in. Dylan Sampson, I believe, is number 1 in touchdowns this year running, or he's top 3 or 5. I think that I think it is okay. All right. I know it was last week, but Arkansas wants to run the football a ton. Taylor Green, he's extremely inconsistent. He'll have a long bomb or next, and then the next 2 drives will look like he'll be struggling. Tennessee is first in yards allowed per carry at 1.4, and with the team that wants to run in a mobile quarterback like Taylor Green, I think that they'll struggle. So I think Tennessee will actually cover the 2 touchdown spread, and I think that Tennessee will go and move on undefeated and play Florida next week.
Yeah, I mean, this is a mega trap game. You've got 2 of your biggest rivals coming up the next 2 weeks. It's easy to just kind of fast forward over a team like Arkansas, but I don't think you can sleep on Arkansas. I think they're a pretty good football team. Their offense is solid. It's a bad matchup against Tennessee just because of how good our run defense is, and they are, like Grant said, a running football team. I don't think Taylor Green is bad. I think he's a pretty solid quarterback. However, I just think it's a very bad matchup for Arkansas and what they want to do to win this game. So I'm going to go Tennessee.
Yeah, honestly, this Arkansas team could easily be 5-0, and College Game Day would be at this game. They lost by 8 to Oklahoma State in a game they should not have lost, let's be so honest. And they only lost by 4 to A&M to a late touchdown. They were up 7 at half, and they were up 3 early in the fourth. This Arkansas team could be 5-0. Good for them. The spread is, I don't really care, but Nico Collins is an elite quarterback. Is he a redshirt freshman this year?
Nico Collins?
Yeah. Not Nico Collins. Not Nico Collins. Nico fancy name. What's Nico fancy name?
Iamaleava.
Yes, not Nico Collins. Nico Collins is an elite wide receiver.
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins is an elite wide receiver for the Houston Texans. Nico fancy name is an elite quarterback for the Tennessee Volunteers. I think he's the reason you win this. And then, bad matchup for Arkansas. I don't really think it's a trap game. I think Heupel has his head on straight. He's not looking too far ahead. with Georgia and Florida and Bama and all them Johnsons. He's winning, the games he needs to win. This is when he needs to win.
Is that good, Hunter?
Hunter
Shout
got
out Nico
hungry.
Yeah,
Collins.
my biscuits and gravy were getting cold, so I got
Surprise, surprise.
I'm gonna go Tennessee here. I do think that this Arkansas team is really good, but I think that Tennessee's defense is going to outshine here. Tough environment too. They're Little Rock. No, it's not Little Rock. Fayetteville. Woo Pig Suey. Really strikes the fear in all of them. Tennessee. Our game of the week. Missouri. A&M.
I like this graphic.
Not a lot of games
I like
this
this
week.
graphic.
Shout out.
We did this last week.
Well, Dress.
We didn't film last week.
Well, we did when you were
2 weeks ago. You
Sorry,
weren't here.
James.
You weren't here.
yeah, you were. I gotta talk myself into this because I don't know who I'm picking. Texas A&M, Kyle Field. It's one of the best home atmospheres. College football, I think it's number one. It's definitely top 5 to me. I don't know if it's one, but it's still really good. Missouri, they've struggled a little bit this year. Brady Cook has only thrown 4 touchdowns, which is odd. Their defensive coordinator left. Their secondary is not as good. Marcel Reed looks to be like he's starting. He's taking the reins with the Connor Wegman's shoulder injury. I think that I'm going to pick Texas A&M because of Kyle Field and that they're 7th in opponent third down conversion rate at only 25%. And because of the home field advantage, because I think Texas A&M is still slightly more talented than Missouri, I will go with Texas A&M to beat Missouri.
Sorry, somebody's munching on stream. Last time I picked Missouri, I said Luther Burden was going to go off, and I was right. He had a touchdown and like 125 yards on like 6 receptions. But I'm going to do the same thing. I think Brady Cook is very good. I think Luther Burden is the best wide receiver in the country, and yeah. I said that, and if not top 3, but I think that Missouri's offense is very good. And I don't think A&M's defense will be able to stop them. However, A&M is at home. That could cause some trouble. But I'm
Make
still
the
going to
pick, man.
I said Mizzou, man. I'm still
Okay.
going Mizzou.
Hunter just wants to eat.
First off,
smelly
definitely
good.
not the top wide receiver. It's Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Sorry, Hunter. Also, please put the food away. Missouri hasn't played anyone. They played Murray State at home, Buffalo at home, Boston College at home, and Vanderbilt at home. And they struggled against Vanderbilt and Boston College. They haven't played a road game yet. They only won by 3 against Vandy at home. I know Vandy is better than the usual Vandy, but they struggled. That says something. Brady Cook is struggling. A&M, Elko is a much better coach than what's his name from last year who got bought out. Way better coach. I think they'll figure it out. That environment will be wild. They are a cult, mind you. So they're all going to be out there because they're scared if they're not, the cult master is going to come and get them, that being the Texas Longhorns. So, I mean, pretty simple to say. A&M will win this. Missouri will struggle. They haven't played away. And then they play at UMass. They have a cupcake schedule. Their hardest game this year is number 1 Bama. Their SEC schedule: Vanderbilt, A&M, Auburn, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Bama. That is a cupcake schedule. You have like 3 of the bottom 4 teams in there. You have State, Auburn, and Vandy. They all 3 suck. Like, the only one you're missing is Florida. Like, I mean, should have given them Florida over South Carolina. Lord. They were trying to write the script for Mizzou to go to the playoffs. That ends today, though, when they lose to the A&M Aggies. Gig 'em. Ignore my
Yeah, I'm
shirt.
also going to go with the Aggies here. I think that Missouri is very overrated, possibly the most overrated team in the country. You struggle against Vandy, you struggle against Boston College. Basically everything that James said. I like A&M a lot more down there in College Station. I think that, honestly, this is probably where ESPN should have gone. But They went here 4 weeks ago, so makes sense. Giggle Maggies. And there's your picks. Jesus loves you. Check out new Splat Sports podcast episode. There will be another one this week. Hopefully, Bear will be back. Splat picks.
This week, myself and Drew were talking about it. I think it's this week. Finally,
Confirmed this week. Possibly.
I'm not confirming it. I'm not 100%.
Okay, not confirmed.
But
But possible.
unconfirmed, unreleased, something or another. Probably this week.
Okay, well, there you go. Splat picks could be back. We've been saying that for the past 3 weeks, but look, it looks good this week. So, peace out. Bye.
I want to eat my biscuits.